how much time Balaji sir will got it. 1 more minute to go. Oh, Raji is here. Good evening, AD.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Anita.
Hi.
Okay, I won't brown, okay? Nicely, Anita enticed me into this meeting, telling there is some dance.
Yeah.
We didn't resist.
The only way, I won't say the only way, but always, anytime, you can call Raji into anything if there is dance and music.
Oh,
I mean, majorly dance. Girl, my God, with the broken knee also she will dance. That passionate she is. Hello, David.
Hi, Miss.
Hello, Deepansh.
See, ma'am, I wore brown. I found the one coat I have.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello. Good. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. Seema, not Seema. Amita, if you are making me host. Yeah, we are on 6:30, man. Let's start.
Good evening. Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Good evening, Kazi.
Kasi. Are we good to start?
The backdrop is all brown and maroon.
Yeah. Let's start.
Good evening, everyone. Can I have all the cameras on, please?
Yes.
I'll give you all a very small exercise. And I would also request, if possible, and if it's comfortable for everyone, if you can stand.
Okay, the president is out. Just let's wait. She
Okay.
got dropped. I think internet issue.
Am I made the co-host? Because I can see a lot of them entering the waiting room.
We can check. Yes, Seema, you are the host. So what you can do is
how do I change that?
No, it's fine. Let it be there as of now. We'll do that
Okay.
as soon as Amita comes in.
Okay, so shall we wait for Amita to come?
Ideally, yes. Let me just call her.
Sure. So 2 minutes until Toastmaster Amita comes.
Hi, David. How are you?
Hello, Miss. How I am good. Listen, I'm back from university, so it's quite nice.
Good. Hi, Deepansh.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you all doing? How are you doing?
Good.
I think Miss Amita joined.
Hello.
Hi, Amita.
I got dropped. It's not connecting. I've joined through mobile.
Oh, okay. So would you be able to switch on your camera or we can't see you?
Yeah, I'm trying to join through the laptop also. We are live, or has it stopped the streamlining?
No, we are live.
Okay.
I think you can start. We can start the meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Seema.
Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to each one of you to meeting number 59. Before we officially begin this meeting, I thought let's have a small exercise. I'm sure all of us know the game Simon Says, right? I hope everyone knows. Is there anyone who doesn't know? You know, right? Okay. So I would give you the instructions, and if you can follow it, we'll have a very 30 seconds to 1 minute kind of an exercise. So let's begin. Simon says to whoever is sitting to stand up and whoever is standing to sit. Simon says, clap your hands. Simon says, everyone, even whoever is seated or standing, to stand. All of them to stand. Simon says to hop on your right foot. Let me see how many of you can balance that. Hop on your right foot. Simon says, wink with your right eye. Wink with your right eye. Oh, wow, Toastmaster Raji. Awesome. That's nice. Simon says, pull your ears. Pull down your ears. Simon says, make a sad face. Simon says, pretend to be sleeping. Simon says, turn around and circle wherever you're standing. Simon says, pretend to drive a car. Simon says, give yourself a good, loving hug. All right, so that was a very small exercise. I hope all of you all enjoyed. With this, let's begin the meeting. I shall read out the club mission. All of you can place your hands on your heart and repeat it along with me. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater confidence and personal growth. Now, there are some ground rules for the meeting. Please refrain from talking about sex, religion, and politics. Always try to adjust your camera before you start your speech, and also always maintain an eye contact. Yes, we have the applaud button, the reactions button down there. So each time each speaker speaks, always request you to applaud each of the speaker. Keep your phones on silent or switch it off. And if you can avoid answering calls, it would be ideal. And to realize that I forgot to put my phone on silent right now. And to all the speakers, speak with a lot of smile, with passion and dedication. With this, I hand over the dais to our vibrant president, Toastmaster Amita. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Seema. A lovely beginning. Is my voice echoing by any chance? No.
You're good. You're good. You're good. Little bit, but
There
fine.
is? Okay. Okay, I left the meeting from my mobile. Let's hope I don't get disconnected. Okay. So a very good evening to all of you here. Welcome, AD Raji. Nice to see you with us here. And welcome, Darren. Welcome, Toastmaster Raj. Nice to see many new people here. I welcome everyone. Not able to hear me?
And here.
Tina?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So let me begin with congratulating the team of Showstoppers as it has been conferred with the Talk Up Award by the District 105. A big round of applause for all of us. Zoom Master, Toastmaster Alvin, would you be able to share the slides?
Can the
I'm not
sharing?
been made the host, so I'm unable to.
Amita, I think you still are the host.
I'm still the host.
Make Alvin and me as host or host, whatever.
Okay, I'm making you the host, Anita. And I will rename myself. I just now realized that I'm the Zoom master.
Yeah, Alvin, you can start sharing it.
Sure. Screen visible?
Welcome to our meeting number 59. Yes, you may show the next slide. Okay, so what is Toastmasters? I'll be repeating as it is a rigmarole to be followed. So Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. The founder is Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, and the first meeting was held at the YMCA building on October 22, 1924. So it's almost magical 98 years that the Toastmaster has been thriving and growing. Next slide, please. So you can see here that these are the numbers, the figures. Almost 16,600 paid clubs are there in almost all over 145 countries. And our club, the Showstoppers Toastmasters Club, was earlier under the Area 31 and now it's under Area 64. And we have our Area Director, Toastmaster Raji, with us here. It comes under Division P and District 105. Next slide, please. So what can Toastmasters offer you? Why do we need to go to a Toastmasters club? So you can see here, it provides you an environment where you get positive, helpful, and supportive environment. Your actions are oriented towards learning. And of course, because we get people from all realms of life, it is a multicultural environment which you're getting. Okay, and here, everyone is here to learn. We make mistakes. We are allowed to make mistakes. And there's nobody who is going to make you feel embarrassed about it. The only thing you can gain from your mistakes. There are evaluators and feedbacks in this particular fraternity, which will help you grow. And it is intellectually entertaining. Education. Why do I say education? Because there is a curriculum here which has to be followed. You can choose your pathways and it will help you in your communication skills, leadership skills, effective skills, and organizing skills. These are the skills you can develop once you're into Toastmasters. So benefits, unlimited personal growth, clear communication, increased self-confidence with every meeting, I can assure you, there will be at least 1 ounce of an increase in your own self-confidence. You share experiences. This is the way you grow, you learn. There is career advancement because you are developing, you are progressing even in your professional front. And you get recognized by the district, by your club and the fraternity. So opportunities, there are many opportunities here. You develop your leadership opportunities and at various levels, large networking opportunity with thousands of Toastmasters, and more so now because we are online, it gives a huge platform. You can visit any club all over the world. You can participate in educational and informative events, opportunities to influence many. This is the main, I would say, motto. You are helping others as you are helping yourself here in this fraternity. So this is why one must join Toastmasters. It is purely for self-development and for self-ignited people. Next slide, please. Here you can see the Toastmasters hierarchy. Now, what does this say? There are these levels where there are it is the world headquarters, and then the Toastmasters International, big organization. Then there is a region, there is district, division, area, club, and the most important at the pinnacle are the members. The members are given the utmost priority in Toastmasters. So this is Toastmasters, and I would recommend everyone to be in this Toastmasters for your own benefit. All right, so, and yes, next slide, please. As I had begun, yeah, we are conferred with the Talk Up Toastmasters Award by the district. And you can see here that eligibility is for adding 5 or more new or reinstated or dual members, and that we were able to do, and that is why we have won this award. Next slide, please. Okay, although the news is old, I'm going to mention it today because due to the pandemic situation and no physical meetings, the memento of the achievements was pending. Our own dear DTM Anita got the DTM status last year, all because of her grit and hard work with the pursuit of excellence. She was able to achieve the much coveted award, the DTM status, and she has won this pin which the Toastmasters International sends it to her. So we was able to hand over this pin to her just a couple of days back. So here it is. Also, our club had 2 Triple Crown winners last year, and we got our pins in hand a couple of days back. Again, this is the pin here, Triple Crown, which Toastmaster Manpreet and myself, we were the winners of it last year. Now, what is Triple Crown Award? So eligibility is like you are supposed to finish 3 levels in 1 Toastmaster year, which begins from July to June. So 3 levels with all the projects in it, you finish in 1 year and you become eligible for the Triple Crown. It is purely to recognize the efforts of individual members. Like the Talk Up Award, the Smedley Award, it is for the club, which we are winning. This Triple Crown award is for an individual member. So it is going to be a personal achievement, which in turn, of course, gives a status to the club. Okay, the next slide, please. Yes, this is data which I got from the Toastmasters International slide. The world headquarters conducts extensive research to gain insights about Toastmasters members and their experiences. One such interesting slide is this one. And there are a handful of more research gathered through studies, and these data actually help the district leaders to build marketing plans and strategies to achieve their goals and strengthen the club officer training. However, I wanted to display this as an assurance to all the members of my club that by joining Toastmasters, you have taken a right decision, and to pursue it should be your aim. You can see here, the willingness to recommend is almost 8.6 out of 10, and 72% have already reached the primary goal. Now, what is the primary goal? As I mentioned earlier, it's your own self-development. So you can just have a look at this figures here. It's almost just out of 7, and these numbers look really good. They are very encouraging. I would encourage each member to actively take up speeches and the silent roles as well. Don't hesitate to get mentored for any role you take up. Each role is going to give you a different perspective, different learning, believe me. And to end my speech on a lighter note, I would love to display a couple of photos of the casual meet we had on 9th April morning, Saturday, at my place. It was indeed a delight to be the host and to know each other a little more closely as we spent almost about 3 hours chit-chatting and discussing about our prospects and experiences in this Toastmasters journey. We came to a consensus that we can actually try the hybrid meeting on Saturday. So our next meeting, instead of a regular Tuesday, we will have it on a Saturday just to try out the hybrid meeting on 23rd April. That is a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 o'clock. Okay, so 10 to 12 on 23rd April will be our next hybrid meeting. So jump in and take up the roles for this meeting, and don't forget to get yourself mentored for each and every role. Once again, I'm mentioning it. So let's keep up the spirit and form the Showstoppers as a lovely big family with commitments and dedication. So with this, I declare the meeting number 59 open. Let me now hand over the stage to the effervescent, enthusiastic, self-driven, benevolent TMOD, DTM Anita Naidu. Now, why do I call her benevolent? Because she proposed to be the TMOD soon after our last meeting itself. And I readily agreed because the major responsibility of hunting for one was eliminated from my schedule. And of course, my benevolent Showstopper members who just so enthusiastically came forward and volunteered to take up the roles. I'm so glad. So touch wood, let's all continue like this. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, President. Good evening, everybody. Even before I take this further, I would love to invite, I know we're running a little bit late, nevertheless, let's invite the club secretary, Toastmaster Sridevi, to read out a crisp minutes of meeting of the previous meeting. Sridevi, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, everyone. This is the club secretary, Toastmaster Sridevi, reading the minutes of previous meeting. Meeting number 58. The theme of the day was What If, held on 22nd March, Tuesday, 2022. The meeting began sharp on time at 6:30 p.m. Our Sergeant-at-Arms Toastmaster Seema, in her very exuberant style, started the meeting, emphasizing that 22nd March is the World Water Day and requested the attendees to conserve water. She read out the club mission and the online meeting etiquettes. The virtual stage was then handed over to our vibrant president, Toastmaster Amita, who welcomed the guest on board. She explained what Toastmasters is and the benefits of Toastmasters. She also congratulated the area level winners. The baton was then handed over to Toastmaster Sridevi for the minutes of meeting. Then the TMOD, Toastmaster Anita, took the meeting forward with the theme of the day, What if? She engaged the audience with her Q&A. Following this was the word of the day by Toastmaster Roshni. The word was invigorate, meaning to give vigor or to fill with life. Then our 4 new members, Toastmaster Alvin, Toastmaster Utkarsha, Toastmaster Kasi, and Toastmaster Dinesh, presented their icebreaker speeches all in a row. This was followed by a fun-filled session by our trivia master, Toastmaster David. The virtual stage was then handed over to the evaluators, Toastmaster Seema, Toastmaster Sridevi, Toastmaster Deepansh, and Toastmaster Tina, who evaluated the speeches of their respective speakers and motivated them. Then the TMOD continued with the theme of the day. She then welcomed the general evaluator, Toastmaster Kimji, who gave a detailed evaluation of the meeting. The meeting came to end with presidential closing address and announcement of winners of the day. The meeting ended on time at 8:30 p.m. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sridevi. That was quite an exhaustive minutes of meeting. Thank you so much for that. And now it's time for us to invigorate each other, or rather let me invigorate you all by asking you all to join all of us in a jig. And this jig is just to tell the world that we are all involved. Let's not spotlight anyone, Zoom Master. Let's have everyone on there without any spotlight. So we're just telling the world that we are in here to save the soil for our children and grandchildren and their children to come forward to. So are we ready? Is everyone ready? Yes. There's a little slight variation in this jig, but then I think still we can manage to do something about it. Okay. Okay, is it visible? If it's not, you can unmute yourself and tell me. Yeah, okay. So here we go. Thank you so much. Just a second. Yeah. Now that was it good? Did it enliven your spirits for the evening? Just unmute yourself and say, yay!
Yay!
Yay.
Thank you so much. Yes. Now let's go further into what the theme of the day is. I'm going to share the presentation that I have made using different sources. Just a second. Okay. Okay, for all of you who are not aware of Save Soil movement, I would say that this is one stop shop where you can go and check out. There's so much information about soil. Now to begin with, I think I'll just take you all through. Yeah. Okay, let's start with some gyan. Gyan both, that means some kind of a wisdom, that knowledge sharing that I'm going to do now. The first and foremost thing is, today you guys have to eat 8 oranges. Where your grandparents, I mean all our grandparents must have eaten only 1 orange, not because we are hungry people, but because 8 oranges is going to probably give you the nutrition that 1 orange good old days was giving. Okay, and the second most important thing is, yes, $23 trillion US dollars the global economy will be losing in the next 30 years because of land degradation. It's going to have a chain impact on various things. Okay, this is another fact that we know in North Africa, where we understand that there's so much of hunger, there's so much of famine attacks and various things that's happening. Nature is going to again make it even bad, because the soil degradation that's happening there, since the government is not taking care, the food grain production will be even further reduced. Moving on. Next 60 years time, whoever is going to be alive, we're not talking about our generation, we're talking about the generations to come forth in the next 60 years. They would not be having as much as agricultural soil that we are having today. This itself has degraded from 1914, that is the First World War, to today. It's like come down by 50%, and now you see that in the next 60 years we're going to run out of cultivable soil, which means the world is going to be more a desert. Now, some more facts to go here, something very serious which you all have to know if you didn't know, is that 70,000 different types of soil are there only in the US, which means all around the world, depending on the place that you live in, the soil, there's different types of soil. And if you take just 1 teaspoon of soil, it has more organisms than there are people on this earth. Just imagine. Yeah. 500 minimum years is what it's going to take to form 1 inch of topsoil, and every time it gets soil eroded, or the way people are going about removing soil and building structures over there, I don't know how we're going to replace the loss of this kind of soil. Water, which is very, very essential, which you don't find in this part of the world, underneath the soil, and because it's all sand, is because there's no retention. If there was soil, it would have retained 0.01% of the earth's water. Just imagine. Yes, obviously, no water, no soil, what's going to happen? So if at all you can increase the carbon in the soil by just 0.4%, you can increase the food grain production, which looks simple but is quite a task in today's world. Now moving ahead, how does soil lose nutrition? Please understand, this is a very informative presentation for you all to just know the facts, because the internet is there for you all to go and browse a lot more. Now in today's world, most of the nutrients are removed from the soil, by the different agricultural systems that we have, by adding pesticides, by doing all kinds of gimmicks with the soil, with the natural terrain, and of course harvesting. Apart from that, you have natural disasters which happen, wherein you have soil erosion, runoff because of water slides, etc., and also burning of crop residues, the weeds and stuff like that, because of which we are losing soil. So what is the issue that needs a rethought? Why this Save Soil campaign or movement has been started? Please understand, the weathered soil, it could be natural or man-made, takes up to tens of thousands of years to form a mature soil, right? So, whereas to lose an inch of soil, it won't take a minute. So I think it's time that we started to understand and started to build a rainforest in our vicinity by adding nutrients to the soil, and make a forest and even a desert that you're living in here. Now, all this that you can see here, it's got a legend here which says very degraded are those, supposed to be the soil color, but those are areas all across the world, the globe, which is highly degraded. Then these are the crisis issues that we are facing currently because of non-availability of cultivable land, crisis of food, scarcity of water because there's no retention of water in the sand, in the soil. Of course, biodiversity, no soil, no water, no plantation. Where will the birds go? They obviously will not subsist there. Climatic changes, which we all are undergoing every day. Loss of livelihood, people are moving from one place to another to grow crops. And of course, conflict and migration, because no food, lot of struggle, lot of hunger, politics enter. So what can you do? What can I do? Simple, very crisp, Join the Save Soil movement. What are we supposed to do? Are we funding here? Are we doing some kind of jigs only here? Or what exactly is all this about? We're trying to become an earth buddy. We're trying to call ourselves the earth buddy because we are going to do something very, very simple. We are trying to aim at increasing the organic matter in soil to a minimum of 3%. That itself is a huge task, and it needs each one of us to work at least. All these public figures that you're seeing here, they all have come forward to help us in the Save Soil campaigning. We need everyone to put in their bit, and these are the organizations which are helping. Now is the action time, and the action time is just follow 3 important steps. What are those 3 important steps? Learn about soil a little bit more than what you're teaching your children, a little bit more as to where you are living, what is the kind of soil that's existing there. Share about soil. That's not difficult at all. Day in, day out. Good morning, good evening, how are you? We share so many things over the WhatsApp, over the Facebook and Insta. Can't we just share one little, term called Save Soil? And that comes in as a reminder off and on to people who are seeing this, and they get curious enough to go and browse to learn more about it. Be an earth buddy. How do I become that? I'm going to put in a link to the website where you can go and register yourself as the earth buddy and do your bit. Just send across vibes of saving soil on the social media. Talk to people about it. Talk to your children. Educate your children to talk to their friends. And more important would be if your children could write those beautiful little letters to the government of the country in which they are staying, to tell them that we need the soil to be saved for us and for our future generation, right? Okay, this is how the registration page is going to be. It won't take hardly, it'll take a minute for you to finish. So let each of us use our voice to talk about soil in a day for some time at least, and help the message reach the entire earth. Okay, now I'm going to exit here and stop the sharing. 1 second. Okay, we are definitely running very late. So now I'm going to quickly move in, not before welcoming our past District Director, District 105, DTM Nagabhushan Balaji is here. Welcome, sir. We are running a little late, so please bear with us and stay with us. Thank you so much. So now we move on to the next important segment, the segment wherein we're going to introduce a new word into the meeting, which is going to be delivered by our very own word master, a first-timer word of the day, word master, Toastmaster Kazi. Toastmaster Kazi, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, TM Anita, and good evening to all the Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. And if we have guests, good evening to them as well. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to be the word master. And I have prepared a very small and crisp 2 slides for the word master. And I will share that screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. The word selected, I have my slides as per today's theme. My slides are also showing the soil, soil movement. So the word selected is copacetic. The pronunciation of this is copacetic. It appears to have arisen in African American slang in the southern part, possibly as early as 1880s, with earliest known evidence of it in print only by 1919. The definition of copacetic is very satisfactory. The definition of copacetic is very satisfactory. It's an adjective which means in excellent order. The adjective it means in excellent order. And the synonyms, agreeable, all right, fine, good. And antonyms, unsatisfactory, disagreeable. So I'll move to the next slide, wherein I have prepared a couple of 4 sentences using this word. The first sentence is, we feel copacetic when we do our bit to save soil. It is obvious from our TM Odis grin that she feels copacetic after seeing the save soil as our theme for today's meeting. And we had been to TM Amita's house, and everything in TM Amita's house were copacetic. It's in all excellent order. Even though all showstoppers could not attend previous meeting, the outcome was copacetic. So I hope you got the meaning. Copacetic, basically it's very satisfactory or in excellent order when used as an adjective. So I would request at least few of you, since we are running short of time, to use this word in a sentence.
Yeah, maybe during the course of the meeting they can use it.
No problem, fine. So then I will hand over to TM Odi Anita. Thank you very much. Over to you, TM Odi Anita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kazi. Can we have the screen sharing stop, please?
Yes.
Yes. Now is the most interesting part, the educational part of every meeting, which is the project speeches. And even before I move into that, we have a timer, Toastmaster Roshni, helping us with the timing part. We have Wordmaster, you've noticed. Our count will be taken over by our Zoom master, who's doing a dual role today, Toastmaster Alvin. Our general evaluator today is our immediate past president, Toastmaster Tina. We have the grammarian, the maiden grammarian, Toastmaster Utkarsha. So now we move on to the prepared speeches, the project speeches. To begin with, we have Toastmaster Sri Devi. Yeah, Sri Devi, can you come in first? Is it okay with you? Or Dinesh, would you want to go first? Is it according to the agenda?
I think
Dinesh
Roshni
wants
wants to say something.
Yes, Roshni. Unmute yourself, please.
Hello, good evening. I just wanted, since today's theme is Save Soil, there's just I just want to, for telling the time report, I just want to show the colors beforehand, so that.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So this is actually the black soil, but it shows a little bit of green. So this is for green. This is for the amber. This is a yellow soil showing yellow. Is it visible?
Not really.
And this is the, okay.
If you could use them as a screen or as a picture, that would be good. If you could just share it on the screen.
Is it visible now?
Instead of showing it on the mobile. That would be difficult for them to understand, I think. Maybe one of you all can help her with the timing part, please. Okay, now let's move on. We have Toastmaster Sri Devi. Toastmaster Sri Devi, are you ready to go? Toastmaster Sri Devi is attempting her, her evaluator today is Toastmaster Raj. Toastmaster Raj Mehta, can you read out the objectives of Toastmaster Sri Devi's speech today?
Yes, good evening. The purpose statement of this project is, it's a level 2 project. It's a level 2 project 1, understanding your communication skills. The purpose is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify with his or her primary style. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share the impact of this style on others. And one more thing for the timer, what you can do is you can reduce the brightness on your cell phone. So this way, when you are showing it to the screen, and show it much closer. So this way there'll be no color distortion. Back to you.
Yeah, if you could use a cloth also, it's fine. Just see if you have any cards or something just to show. Or let's have an alternative timer until then. Somebody who could come forward, please. Okay, we move on now. Toastmaster Sridevi, my style, Toastmaster Sridevi. Your time starts now.
Am I audible? How may I help you? Did you get my mail? Get it done in a week's time. What is your style? How do you communicate to your friends, your family, or your colleagues? Well, today I'm going to take you through few communication styles. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and guests. Communication to relationship is like oxygen is to life. Without it, it dies. Yes, communication is so very essential to each one of us. And what better place to talk about communication than a Toastmasters club? As Toastmasters, each one of us are here to master this art of communication. So, what is your style of communication? Before that, let's find out what are the choices out there. In Toastmasters framework, there are 4 categories of communication styles, namely direct, initiating, analytical, and supportive. Let me take you through these communication styles. No, I am not going to define them, but let me make you understand these communication styles through different persons I came across in my life. As I was young, my father used to give instructions to we children saying, pack your bags, wear your uniforms, take your lunch box, hop on the scooter. Now, he sounds like a direct communicator, to the point, result-oriented, and strong-willed. But to others, he may appear demanding. Now, when my husband talks to his office colleagues, he is quite sociable. Hey, how are you? Meet my family. This is my wife, Sridevi, and they are my kids, Madhav and Meera. He is the second kind of communicator, initiating, who is very sociable, enthusiastic, and fun-loving. But others feel he talks more than he listens. Now, when my husband talks to the bank manager, what is the interest for 5 years? When does the deposit mature? Okay, I'll call you back once I go through the details. Now, he sounds like an analytical communicator. He is precise, cautious, and disciplined. To others, he may sound like a perfectionist. Now, the fourth kind of communicator, when my mother talks to her sisters, she says, call me whenever you need. I'll take care of the kids as long as you want. Don't worry. She sounds like a supportive communicator who is patient, cooperative, and is an active listener who anticipates the needs of others. But others may consider her to be indecisive. As Toastmasters, each one of us at level 2 do get a chance to assess their respective communication styles. I have assessed my style, and it's somewhere between initiating and analytical. I'm sure my fellow Toastmasters and my club members would agree to that. Because whenever it is a time for the next meeting, I become very sociable and enthusiastic and text on the group. Good morning, showstoppers. This is time for our next meeting. Take up the roles, grab the roles. And that is an initiating communicator. But I feel I use all the 4 styles at different situations in my life. When I'm instructing my kids, Madhav, Meera, switch off TV, I sound like a direct communicator. No room for negotiation. Now, if I was getting a message on my social media like WhatsApp, I would become sociable. Hey, how are you? All fine? Please do visit us. Now, if I was talking to my student's parent for the fees of an art class, I would use the 3rd style of being analytical, as I neither want to lose my student nor my money. And if I was going to get something done by my husband, I would use the 4th style of being very supportive. So friends, which is your style? Or which style do you think is the best? Is it direct, initiating, analytical, or supportive? Well, all the communication styles are good enough. It is up to us to understand which style to use in which situation, so that we shape ourselves into competitive communicators. Over to you, TM Modi.
Well, dear friends, that was our deep-rooted, highly, committed Toastmaster Sridevi, who spoke to us on communication styles. Now we move on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Toastmaster David. Toastmaster David will be evaluated by Toastmaster Amita. Amita, can you read out the objectives of David's speech, please?
Yes. He is going to attempt his Manage Successful Events project. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice planning, organizing, leading, and implementing an event. The purpose of this speech is also for the member to share his or her experience planning, organizing, leading, and implementing an event.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amita. Our next speaker is Toastmaster David. Toastmaster David, we connect. We connect. Toastmaster David, the virtual stage is yours.
Hi, am I audible for everyone?
Yes.
Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
All right then. All right, so isn't there a moment in time where you're in an organization or a milestone in college, in school, wherever you guys are, or in Toastmasters especially, you need to achieve this. You need to be part of it at least once. Well, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, respected judge, respected DTM, and our wonderful, wonderful guests at Showstoppers. Welcome to my level 5 speech titled We Connect by yours truly, David Isaac. Now, what is We Connect? That is the main question. Why am I titling that? That's what the slide says even then. Well, at Westford University, this is, for me, Mount Everest. Because ever since I joined university, ever since I walked into the campus, all I've seen during in Altaun is we connect, we connect, we connect, we connect. Do I know what it is? No. Does it look interesting? Yes. But if it looks interesting, do I have to go to it? Maybe. Do I want to go through it? Also maybe. But in my first year, I was already tied up with Toastmasters. I was already tied up with COVID, H&D. I came back to studying after my gap year. But WeConnect never happened. It's COVID time. No one could actually have those interactive sessions. The professors were doing it. Second year passed away. We jumped our courses. So we're doing double modules. Our second year, which was originally supposed to be 2 years, transformed into 4 months. Hello, time is running out and WeConnect is popping up again. WeConnect with Craig Fernandez, CEO of Lock and Stock. WeConnect with Fireflies, Vishal Raj Menon. Okay, am I going to get that opportunity? No, nothing. It's the professors. Now, I'm in my third year. On site. COVID is finally gone. No, it's not, guys. Everyone still needs to wear masks, sanitize themselves, and get on social distancing to an extent, to the best of their abilities. But who are we kidding? We can do our best, but everyone else will take the collective charge. Now, WeConnect sessions are simply a meeting between CEOs who've made a difference, who wish to impart their knowledge to us, the students at Oxford University. Well, since we're studying business, it's even better connecting with business leaders. And in my third year, I still remember my professor, Miss Charby, comes up to me and says, David, you're there for WeConnect. I'm like, yes, thank God, I finally made it. And then she tells me, you're the one taking in charge of it. And I was like, oh my God, my submission is due tomorrow. But then again, it's fine. We can still get on with it because everyone wants to climb their Mount Everest. But what is my role? What was my role? And as you can see, in this greatly illustrated image over here, I am the orange guy. I am the orange stick figure, or in this case, the big muscular stick figure. I am the charge of leader. I am the one who will organize the questions. I'm the one who will research about the guest. I'm the one who will have to train the juniors on how they have to ask rapid fire questions. And here's the funny thing I realized. Not everyone is interested or as enthusiastic as I am. But isn't that what a senior is for? To take charge, to motivate, to inspire, to lead them into WeConnect glory? Yes. But do I do stuff like that? No. What I do is I pick and choose people on the whim. I look at them, I say, you're interesting. Let's go. And this is the best part. I was supposed to gather a team. On the first picture is Rosal Fari, a first year who is a very enthusiastic individual who wants to come on board and get ready with WeConnect. She's ready. She and I have spoken. We've gone through public speaking competitions together, and it's a fun event. Then, of course, there's me. And lastly, there is Ariba, another first year student. So, see, the principle of choosing first year students is amazing. And did I convince them simply by saying them the glories of WeConnect? Of course I did. Also by bribing them with food. Seniors things have to be implemented. But who was our guest? Who did we interview? Who did I interview on stage? Mr. Ruben Shamnugara. I'm sorry, but I cannot pronounce his name for the life of me. He is the CEO of Baby Shop. And that was impressive because I want to learn about him. I want to learn about mentoring. I want to learn about coaching. And those were the questions that I had to ask. I had to research, and my investigative skills came on par right now. And would you look at this, the event? I had told everyone we had to color coordinate. I'm there in my suit, ready to go. Jervis and Ariba have to do the rapid fire session. And Rosalind and I have to introduce Mr. Rubin to the peace sign. And do you know what happened afterwards? Everybody on stage learned something about mentoring, learned something about coaching, and they learned about why it's important to have a WeConnect session because networking is essential. And as we learned over here, networking is a great part of Toastmasters, and WeConnect is a great platform for that. What did I learn? I learned how to be a leader. I learned how to manage a team, and I learned the importance of introducing the peace sign to the CEO of Baby Shop. Lastly, this is important. This is a fun fact. Save the environment, guys. We need this. And as the CEO of Baby Shop, Mr. Rubin says, the earth is your own, make do with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster David. David is those fruits which are, all set even before the season to bloom and blossom so that they can give that nurture that we all want to eat and bite into. Thank you so much, David. One small flaw, or I should say shortcoming, was that we could not see the picture in your speech. So it was we all started to impromptu imagine things. Thank you so much. Everyone, please leave your feedback individually into their personal chats into Toastmaster Sridevi and Toastmaster David's personal chat box. Now we move on to the final speaker for the evening, Toastmaster Dinesh. Toastmaster Dinesh, are you ready? Can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Okay. And to evaluate Toastmaster Dinesh's speech, we have Toastmaster Seema here. Toastmaster Seema, can you read out the objectives?
Good evening, everyone, once again. Toastmaster Dinesh is attempting writing a speech with a purpose. The project purpose is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Speech length would be 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Dinesh. Over to you, TMOD Anita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Seema. Toastmaster Dinesh, cultivating ideas to reality. Cultivating ideas to reality, Toastmaster Dinesh. The stage is yours.
It is said that our minds are like gardens and our thoughts are seeds. We can grow flowers or we can grow weeds. So when today's theme was all about soil, I thought, why not we adopt that and more than focus on the thought, focus on how do we cultivate an idea so that we can have a very copacetic result towards the end and turn it into a reality. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Today, I'm going to speak to you about cultivating ideas into reality. And I'm going to try and bring some synergies into a growth of a plantation. So the growth of a plant starts with a seed, which is all encompassing. If the seed is given the right environment, it will achieve the desired result. A seed, as always, also knows what is going to meant to be. So if you plant a tomato seed, do you expect a cucumber plant? No, we don't. We know the tomato seed knows it's going to be a tomato plant. Similarly, when we have ideas and we give it a proper thought process and create a vision to it, we can cultivate our ideas into the dream or reality that we require. Secondly, for the seed to be able to germinate, you need to be able to make sure that you first prioritize your garden. What do I mean by that? It's not possible today to be able to grow multiple plants because within that soil that we spoke about, all of them are going to start sucking the nutrients and some of the plants may not grow the way we want it to be. So we need to prioritize. Similarly with ideas, we may have multiple ideas to work on, but we need to prioritize and focus on one or two of those ideas that will help us achieve the dream or make our dream a reality. After we have done the planning, it's important to take that seed and put it into the soil. We heard from TMOD how resourceful a soil can be in providing all the necessary nutrients for that seed to germinate. Similarly, when we have ideas, we need to cultivate it further by putting it in a good soil of people around us. People that believe in our vision, people who are able to help us grow. If you are a marketing expert and you need someone to help you with financial, make sure you have those people around you. Make sure that you have people who believe in you. Second, a fertilizer sometimes is unable to provide you all the necessary nutrients that a plant requires to grow. Hence, gardeners use fertilizers. Similarly, if today we are not have the necessary skills to be able to get our idea to grow the way we want it to be, we need to go out and get additional skills. We need to be able to sit with people who can guide us to be able to get things done. So similarly, even though you surround yourself in good environment, sometimes you need to take that effort to be able to do more so that you can fertilize your thoughts and make them grow. As the plant grows, we need to be able to make sure that we protect our plants, like people put fencing around the plant so that the pets don't dig it up, the kids don't trample around it. Similarly, we need to protect our ideas. Some of you may relate to this. How many of you have shared an idea in a manager's office in a corporate world, only to be his idea in the conference room the next day? So it's very, very important for us to protect our ideas, and the best way to do that is through writing and documentation. Next, understand what are weeds and what are plants. Every garden has weeds. Weeds are those that suck the nutrients from the soil, so sometimes the plant doesn't get the necessary soil. Similarly, make sure you are able to identify who are the toxic people around you that take your focus away from your ideas. Make sure that you keep them at bay. Next, remember, no plant grows overnight, and every plant has to go through its own challenges. So we have to be able to let me give you an example. There could be a change in climate. You heard multiple climate stuff that can affect the growth of a plant. But if the right nurturing, the plant can still be able to overcome and grow what it is. Similarly, I think we need to be very patient with our ideas. We need to give it the necessary spotlight and be able to overcome hurdles and make it happen. We need to make sure we take the best action that we can do to get the most optimal result. So to summarize, before I summarize, for a garden to grow, you need to have a gardener who believes in himself. Similarly, for your ideas to grow, you need to be someone who believes in your ideas and are able to stick and have the grit to make it happen. So my friends, to be able to cultivate an idea into a reality, I believe that you need to be able to make sure you have a fertile soil of people around you, you're very clear with your vision, you add the necessary characteristics and skill set that you require, you pull out the weeds, and it's very important to know who your weeds and who your plants are. Pull out the weeds and protect your plant and give it time for it to cultivate. Because at the end of the day, for anything to grow, the environment needs to be right. I would love to give you more examples from personal experience when we will leave that for the next time, but I would like to leave you with one thought. When a flower does not bloom, try fixing the environment that it is growing in, not the flower. Similarly, if your ideas are not cultivating, look at the surroundings and try and see if you can improve it before you give up on that idea. Thank you very much. Over to you, T.M. Modi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dinesh. Dear members, Toastmaster Dinesh is so new, yet he had a terrible thing happening in the home front. He's traveled to India and come back, but yet he stayed committed to his role and he furthered his speech. He actually wrote his speech on the flight back home, back to Dubai. So let's applaud the commitment in him today. And with that, we come to the end of the project speeches segment. Please leave your feedback, which is very, very important to all the three speakers. And evaluators, you can get to work now. Today we are dropping out the table topic segment because we really are running short of time. Now it's time for me to introduce the route of Toastmasters in the District 105, which was not District 105 before. So whom am I calling on board now? I'm just going to share my screen because I don't think one slide is enough. If there is a Dronacharya and an Ekalavya in today's world, I think I was one Ekalavya who followed this personality day in, day out, his speeches everywhere, because we used to have physical meetings. We used to go and literally sit there and feel the aura of this person, the vibrance of this person, and I've learned so much And I feel it is beautiful to call this person here in today, and I am very humbled because he has agreed to come into a club meeting and explain to us something which is very, very essential for all of us to know as Toastmasters. Please join your hands to welcome our past district director, District 105, 201819, DTM Balaji. Now he is heading towards becoming a Silver Jubilee Toastmaster very soon, and also pursuing his fourth DTM. He's on that, his milestone is very soon going to be achieved. He's taken leadership in all positions. There has been total humility in accepting club excom roles. He's served as area secretary, area governor, division director twice, and these are all voluntary leadership roles, my dear friends. As a club growth director, program quality director, and eventually the district director for District 105. He's been the district conference chair at the district Toastmasters annual convention. Yeah, we have a lot of disturbance, Zoom Master. If you could just mute everyone except me. And he's been the DTAC advisor for the Abu Dhabi team for the last 3 years. I think that's a lot. But then this man is never say never, never died battery. He is definitely working towards becoming the international director for Toastmasters International. So he requires all of us to support him to be up there, and of course his accolades will take him definitely there one of these years. So DTM Balaji, I don't know how we address 3 times DTM Distinguished Toastmaster. Nevertheless, to me, you are Distinguished Toastmaster Balaji. So let me welcome you on board the virtual stage. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Fantastic. Would you want to share some share screen, or you have something to share, or we'll just?
No, I don't have anything to share on the screen. But I have a lot to share from my heart.
Thank you so much.
And I think that's what you call as speaking to people, to the audience. Good evening, everybody.
Perfect.
And thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Anita, for this brilliant introduction. And when I was typing it last night, I was thinking, oh God, 25 years is approaching. So I need to do something, and I need to start on the second path. So I had finished I'm almost at the end of my first path. So I was thinking which one to select, and eventually I will. So towards my 4th DTM. So probably the 25th year will be the one I will say I finished my DTM the 4th time. To start off on your session today, I would love to go back to the phrase which Toastmasters normally utter whenever they speak to one another, at least in the international conventions, if not on the stage over here. If you can get out of Toastmasters everything that you can get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. Can anyone tell me who said this? Yes, Raj.
Ralph Smedley, the founder.
No, Raj Mehta.
Did you say it?
No.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, let me come out with it. We started off in the year 1924 as Toastmasters. That was the year it was registered and it was officially born. But for 40 years, it was purely a man's society. Ladies were not allowed. In 1964, they allowed the first lady to come and attend the meeting. And the same first lady eventually became the president of Toastmasters International in the year 1973. Her name is Helen Blanchard, and she's the one who actually came up with this phrase. And it's a wonderful one. If you can get out of Toastmasters all that you can get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. This is the phrase I've been living with from the time I heard it, probably in the year 1999. And what I want to take you through today is the various roles which I've occupied at club level, what I have learned from it, and how I've been using those things in my everyday life, rather just in Toastmasters. Let me go back to the year 1998 when I joined Toastmasters with the Abu Dhabi chapter. And that is the senior most chapter even today. It has completed more than 27 years. It was born in the year 1995. And God knows how many meetings they've had till now. They're about to reach around 800 meetings. And they are visibly fantastic. And from the time I joined, we were a gang of around 6 people. Imagine it, all 6 are still members with the club. And all 6 of us sometimes, I mean, of course, I'm in Dubai, online I attend, but the remaining 4 or 5 of them attend regularly. Now in this club, in the year 1999, 6 months after I joined the club, I was asked to be the Sergeant at Arms. And Sergeant at Arms is a role where you are the one who is keeping things ready for people when they want to come and speak. Online forums were not there. Toastmasters International website was not there. And we had only manuals which used to come to us, which we had to read and we had to learn from the manuals, or the only other part was learn from the mentors who had been in Toastmasters for some time more than us. Now here is where I learned that coming half an hour early to the Toastmasters meeting and arriving there before anybody comes in has its own advantages. There's only one disadvantage, which I will tell you later, but there are lots of advantages. So when you come in, number one, you're the leader. There's nobody else to guide you. You have all the stuff in the world and you need to arrange the hall in the way you wish the meeting to run. Of course, there's a designated place for the banner to be hung. There's a designated place for the lectern to be, but the rest of it is up to you. You can organize the seating place whichever way you want. You can organize snacks for people however you want. And you can actually go and order for trophies in the way you want to. It's only that you need to make sure the number of trophies over there should be available for people to take home. Now, these are the things which I learned coming early, to think creatively as to what can be done for the next meeting. And every time I started doing something different. And this is when I realized that some part of my brain also works. I didn't know that I was somebody who was very logical in life. I had come up in school, college, and the other side of the brain was never used. And this is where I started using it. But the most important part which I learned over there was punctuality. Now, believe it or not, when somebody tells me that this is the meeting and it starts at this time, if I'm supposed to be there before the meeting, I will be. But if I'm a guest and if I tell them I will be there at this time, I have to be there at least 5 to 10 minutes in advance. And this is in Toastmasters. But let's take it to the outside world. When I fix a meeting with people, and when I say no, it's a no. But if I do fix a meeting with people, or if I have to arrange a meeting at office, or if I have to be in a meeting in the office, I am definitely there on dot. And if I'm not there 5 or 7 minutes early to the meeting, I'm pretty uncomfortable. And the second part is, I normally ask people what's the subject of the meeting. If the subject of the meeting is something new, I don't need to go prepared. But if the subject of the meeting is something which we already know and we're supposed to discuss, I would rather go well prepared. So Sergeant at Arms has taught me in my life, most importantly, to discipline myself, to make sure that I also inculcate this habit into a lot of people whom I mentor. And imagine this session which I'm holding today, one of the most important aspects which executive committee needs to learn is succession planning. While we are at the helm of affairs, we always do wonderful things. We always believe that it is in us that we can do the best of stuff. But 1 year down the line, we start feeling, oh God, where did all the stuff which I did go? Why did I not identify somebody who was my successor? Why did I not start training that person to be somebody like me, but not follow me? Maybe they are more creative, but you need to identify somebody who understands what is to be done for every meeting. And succession planning is something you need to learn. So if you are one of the Sergeant at Arms or any executive committee member in your club today, try to identify somebody and try to train somebody offhand. It doesn't need to be somebody who is sworn in. He or she can be taken offhand and you can start inculcating the habit to them. Anita, I forgot to tell the timer about my timings. It's 18, 19, 20, right?
Yeah, it is 15 and I think 10, 15 and 18.
10, 15, and 18. Okay, great. So this was what I learned when I was Sergeant at Arms. And I did not stop there, but I moved away to Dubai because I got a job in Dubai, which is everyone's dream. So in the year of 2000, I shifted to Dubai. And the only other chapter which was available for Toastmasters was the Dubai chapter. So we had only 2 clubs until the year 2001. So 1995 was the Abu Dhabi club, and 1996 was born the Dubai club. And when I joined in Dubai chapter, there was something like around 45 people in that audience. And there was no place to sit. It was in Al Futtaim Training Center, and there was hardly any place to sit. So I used to go there, and being a member of the Dubai chapter, I had one idea in my mind. The total of UAE's population was so much, but the total number of Toastmasters was hardly 100. So what can I do to move this forward? So I took up VP membership's role. I skipped the secretary, the treasurer, and other parts for the time being, and I took the VP membership's role, and I started wearing my Toastmasters pin wherever I go. And I started speaking to people about Toastmasters wherever I meet, even on the street, at hotels, sometimes even in washrooms. And every time people used to ask me, what is this pin doing on your blazer? And that was the moment I was waiting for. In 6 months, Dubai chapter had more than 100 people coming to attend. And this is time I thought, it's time to start a new club. Clubs were not born like what you get birthed today, left, right, and center. Clubs were very, very difficult to be installed, to be registered, because everything was manual. So at that moment, came out on the stage with the help of my mentor, Royston Fernandez. I started asking people who would like to move to a new club. Not many were ready. They were all loyal to the Dubai chapter. So I gave an option. So those of you who have joined during the last 2 months automatically move to the new club. Other than that, anybody who is ready can come in. And that's how on September 9th, 2001, 2 days before the World Trade Center was brought down, we started the club called Star of Arabia. And that was the 4th club which was actually chartered, because Sharjah chapter, which was chartered in 1998, started meeting only in 2000. And then you had Dubai Petroleum chapter, which was also started along with us. And as VP membership, my goal was to spread the word of Toastmasters. 25 years down the line, I have not stopped it. 25 years down the line, whichever organization I work for, I speak about that organization. 25 years down the line, if I find something which is really good, that good is supposed to be spread out. That good is for the world to know. If there are things which are bad, keep it for yourself. But if there are things which are good, please make sure that you spread the word out. And this is what I learned from the role of VP membership. And then came the next creative role. The more clubs you start, the more the problem of money. You needed money. So I took up the treasurer's role for 1 year. And what did I learn from the treasurer post, even though I was a banker by profession? I used to be a banker and I quit banking in the year 2014. But then being a banker, treasurer post is very interesting. You get cash in hand. And in those times, you were not supposed to open a bank account. Everything was supposed to be in hand. It was cash carry. Even the guy, Noel, who was providing snacks to us, he used to say, sir, please make sure that you bring cash for the meeting. We hardly had cash. People were difficult to catch upon and get the money. Follow up. This is something I learned from the treasurer's post. You have to be persevering people. You have to continuously keep calling people. They need to be called the masters of the universe. They need to be given all the appreciation in the world, brought back, and the money collected. We got rich. We got rich that in a matter of 5 years, Star of Arabia started a rule, which is followed even today, by the way. We make sure that every year there is a surplus of 5,000, which is kept aside for the club to make sure that we don't land up in dire straits. Even today, you can go to Star of Arabia and check. There will be a 5,000 surplus with some other senior member who is keeping it, and he would have accounted for it. And they would say, please manage the club with the money you collect for this year. What surplus is with us is for us and for the future. So imagine this, that it is like bankers who have the reserve fund somewhere. So you also have reserve funds somewhere here. But perseverance is something which I learned from the post of the treasurer. Let's move on to the next role, secretary. Very interesting. A lot of people believe that secretary's job is nothing. But in those days, secretary's job was very, very important. Every paperwork was being done by the secretary. And even today, if you go to the Toastmasters website and look at who is the most important member amongst the executive committee, it is the secretary. It's not even the president. So if the president writes to Toastmasters on any request, the secretary gets a mail saying, are you in approval of this? So it's the secretary who actually signs off on every document. And that's the importance which you get. But what did I learn from the secretary's position? I don't know if you capture minutes of meetings nowadays. I don't know if you come back and recite the minutes of meetings in your meetings. In fact, quite a few clubs come back and catch up on the previous meeting, and they ensure that people get something out of the previous meeting, some memories down the line. But then capturing those minutes, storing them, getting back to action points. Is this not what you do in your professional life? And when you really start your business, or when you really are working at a very high level, you need those minutes to catch up on. You need to follow up on the action points. So one of the very good things I learned from a secretary's position is how to draft minutes in the most simple manner for the audience to understand. If you write minutes in all the language you know, high-fly language, the people will just take it out and keep it aside into some folder. Make it simple, make it creative, make it beautiful. If you want to learn something, I think there's a lady called Sudha Hariharan now, Distinguished Toastmaster Hariharan's wife. Every meeting, the minutes are colorful and comes in a different manner. We wait for the minutes to come in, not for the content, just for the look, the feel, and for the memory, which we can take as we move forward. Once the secretary's role was over, the treasurer was over, the sergeant at arms over, I moved up the line. And I thought, VPPR should I take? I'm not a creative person. Why should I take VPPR? But then by the time I took VPPR, social media had come in. And I was enjoying Facebook. And this was good for us to make sure that the word of the club spread out far and wide. And we started taking help from people to prepare posters. Because I'm somebody who cannot prepare poster for any reason. You ask me for the theme of the meeting, I can give you creative themes, but I cannot relate those creative themes to images. It's very difficult for me. I have to give that theme and ask somebody, can you create an image for this theme? Can you create a video for this theme? But we used to do it. And I started thinking of an assistant who can help me in the creative version. So 2 is to tango. I used to use my brain and give the creative version. And my friend, who was my assistant, used to bring it out creatively in front of people. What do I do in my professional life even today? I write a lot of articles, by the way. And I actually get our TriStar, my organization, into the media. I can't but take pictures which can help come out in a flying manner, but I can write the language which can help you read in a very simple manner as to what we do. But when you see that as an article in Gulf News, you see those lovely photographs and images done by somebody else. But then you see a language which you have mastered by ensuring that you keep writing, keep making sure that your writing skills are improved too. And your creative skills, you can learn from the other person. If you really want to learn, you can learn a lot. So VPPR is something which you should take if you have to really think creatively and use that part of the brain, which probably is arrested movement. Let's talk about the next one. I think the most difficult one in terms of a club, the Vice President Education. 6 of the goals for getting your distinguished club plan belongs to the VP Education. And the most important problem the VP Education has is drafting the agenda. Nobody is ready to be a speaker. The moment you send the agenda blank, asking them to select roles, half of them select evaluator, one of them selects table topic speaker, table topic master, one of them selects by difficulty word master. Sorry about the word master of the evening today, but let me be clear. Then goes the word master, and eventually you'll be looking for 2 roles, and that is speakers and Toastmaster of the evening. These are the 2 is very, very difficult to get. So what does the VP Education do? VP Education nowadays goes into a group and starts putting in, saying, we need speakers for this meeting. Is there anyone who is willing to meet? Is there anyone who is willing to speak? But what about in yesteryears, when you didn't have these WhatsApp groups, when you wanted speakers? So the best thing to do is initially draw out a calendar of the number of people who have paid fees to your club, how many people are regular. And once you have that calendar ready, you know that the regulars will deliver speeches as and when you want. It is those irregular people whom you need to attract. So get them to do at least one project in a quarter, or one project in a half year, or once a TMOD in a year. Let me go back to some of the clubs which I'm a member today. We make sure that all the members in the club are Toastmasters of the evening at least once. So when the calendar is provided to us in the month of July, we have to select which date we wish to be the Toastmaster of the evening. And it's very difficult to change that. Thank you for the red card. I'll take another 5 minutes if time permits. So we have to take a date and we have to say that this is the meeting will be the Toastmaster of the evening. And the VP Education makes sure that it is blocked for anybody else unless we come and we speak about some emergency. Even then, you're not allowed to drop out because before the end of the year, you need to pick up another date. So Toastmaster of the evening, that role is finished. The next is the speakers. We have to give our calendar as to when we'll finish our projects. If you're asking me one of the secrets of doing Distinguished Toastmasters thing for 3 years, let me tell you, for absolutely 1 year full, I helped my club by taking project speeches. And that's how I thought I need to do my DTM for the 3rd time. It helps. And being an ExCom member, we all feel we are leaders and we don't have time to do our project speeches. Let me give you this little bit of gyan. You have 7 people in the executive committee plus the past president. So you have 8 people. If 8 of you contribute to the 6 goals of the education, I don't think you need anybody else to help you with project speeches. So just imagine if each one of you picks one project to do once in 2 months. You will definitely get to 3 to 4 goals, educational goals, by the time your term is over. But we forget that. We start looking at everybody else and we start asking them to become project speakers. Let's first take the roles on our own as well as do our leadership roles. This helps us. This helps the club and this helps the Toastmasters fraternity. So they always say, grab a role when it comes, and stage time is the best time for you to learn how to speak. If you don't take stage time, you will actually lose touch in your speaking skills. So make sure you take that. So from a VP Education point of view, I learned 2 things. Number 1, to make sure I was involved in every meeting and give it the best. Whenever somebody wants my help for any role, I'm always there. Number 2, to make sure that I mentor everybody who gets into the VP Education role to ensure that they plan the whole year properly so that the distinguished club plan becomes just a formality. And let me tell you, when I was the district director, I was least bothered about the program quality director's goal, because in District 105 or District 20, which we were earlier, getting to 5 out of 10 goals was a game for every club. Everybody knew what the distinguished club plan was. But go to places in the US and Canada and other countries, it's very difficult to get to 5 out of 10 goals, by the way, because people are not ready to take up roles. Even if they plan, they will not reach that stage. And if you want to really learn that, watch the international convention and watch the plays where they actually honor the districts which are with distinction. And there you will know how many clubs come up on stage or how many districts come up on stage for medleys, for distinguished and for select distinguished. Hardly any compared to the number of clubs you have in Toastmasters. So in District 105, again, this year, getting to distinguished club goals is very easy and the district will reach its target. Last comes the president. Everybody thinks president is somebody who rests. No, president is somebody who makes sure that everybody else works as a team. You need to make sure that the other fingers along with you work together and ensure that everything goes in tandem. And because you have the experience of being a role player, or the XCOM role player in the other goals. It is added goal on you that if one of the arms start breaking, you need to make sure that the arm is rectified. You need to make sure that the arm is brought together, fitted in, and if nothing happens, then you need to make sure that you take up that role and move forward. Most importantly, you need to create the next team. So if you are an XCOM member today, look back to your club 5 years from now. Is it the same club which you built? That is a legacy which you're going to leave. And that is a president for me, whom I think as a leader, not just 1 year presidents. You get the president distinguished club status, and the next year you see your club not even distinguished. And the third year, you see your club searching for members. And the fourth year, you come back and say there's nobody to pay fees. And the fourth year or the fifth year, the club is closed. That cannot happen. If you want to see the legacy, then you need to make sure 5 years down the line, you're very happy. So at the time when you are really resting away from Toastmasters, and for me, I know it is definitely when I depart from the world, that is when I'll move away from Toastmasters. I want to see happiness on the face of people. I want to see that people have learned, people have cherished, and people have actually become great stalwarts from this great club. And this is the legacy which I wish to leave. And to end my speech today, let me go back to that 9th September 2001, when I was instrumental in starting the Club Star of Arabia. Not many in the district at that time. District was District 79, and the district leaders were in Bahrain and Saudi. Not many thought that this club would even be born. Not many thought that Balaji could do something which was wonders, because Balaji was a child at that time. He was hardly 1 year in Toastmasters. But believe it or not, the person is not here today, distinguished Toastmaster, late Janaki Prasad Patnaik. I had brought him here in 2018 to deliver an education session when I was the district director, because from a point of parliamentary language, he's the best person to teach you the Toastmasters parliamentary language. He's now no more. But in that particular speech, in his introduction, he came out and said, we didn't know who Balaji was. We didn't think that Balaji could start a club. When it was registered, we said, thank you so much for adding one goal to our district, and we forgot all about it. 6 years down the line, we see Star of Arabia building champions everywhere. And 10 years down the line, we see Star of Arabia celebrating the 10th anniversary. And so many years down the line, Star of Arabia still exists. One of the best clubs. District 79 had started, moved on to District 20, moved on to District 105, and I don't know which district we are going to exist. But the club which I started, and that day, even I did not think that it would stay for such a long time, has stood. Why? Succession planning, my friends. We were a team of people who trained one another, and eventually we have leaders who speak one language. And that's what the XCOM is here for. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, I'm here. Over to you, Anita, distinguished Toastmaster Anita.
Thank you, DTM Balaji. Any questions? Any questions that are coming up to your mind as to why I should take up a voluntary XCOM role after listening to all this? Guys, come on, we Indians are known for asking questions. Okay, I think I'll have to force you all to ask questions now. Right?
I have a
Yes,
question.
David.
No, Toastmaster Raj, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a question. At times, we get negative feedback. When as a Toastmaster, when I go everywhere and speak about Toastmasters, we get some negative things like no, Toastmasters is not that good and all that other stuff. So how do you generally deal with that? Any negativity in general sense?
Let me ask you this question again, Raj. What business do you do?
Sell fruits.
Great. How many people have come to you and said that you will not be successful?
Plenty.
In this world, the number of people who speak positive are much, much more than the number of people who lead you to negative. It is up to you to make sure what is it that you wish to take, what is good for you. And Toastmasters, for all of us, many of us who have been in Toastmasters for more than 2 decades, we find Toastmasters good for us. And the more the people talk negative about Toastmasters, we take it up as a challenge to make sure that it succeeds. We ensure that there are people who come into Toastmasters more and more. That is the reason today you have so many clubs and so many people who still believe in the word Toastmasters and in the family of Toastmasters. Negativity is there everywhere. It's what you pick up, which is most important for you.
Thank you, DTM Balaji. We have a guest, Shilpa, who wants to ask a question. I don't know regarding what. Shilpa, would you want to speak?
You can unmute yourself, Shilpa.
Yeah, please unmute yourself, Shilpa.
Or maybe the host is, she's
Unable
not
to
able to.
unmute, she said.
Maybe the host has to unmute her.
Yeah. Yeah, now you can try, dear. Shilpa, you can.
If you still
Try
can't,
now.
please type your question.
Yeah, you can type your question also. Should we move on to David in the meantime? David, you can ask your question now.
All right. Thank you so much, DTM Balaji, for those really insightful session. I just wanted to ask, like, this is going to be my second year as a Toastmaster over here, and I've been in XCOM for like two positions now. In June will be my renewal for the positions. I wanted to ask, is there like, according to you, should there be like a step-by-step procedure on like what role to take before you go to the next step, or like can you apply for anything and everything?
The best part to choose upon when you talk about the 7 positions, the 8th one is automatic. You can't occupy it unless you are the president. Okay. So the 7 positions are a combination, and it's really good to go back and learn the roots. The president is somebody who is all alone. Okay. But he has 3 teams with him. Just understand this. The president has to go hand in hand with the sergeant at arms, because the meetings have to be really good. The president has to go hand in hand with the treasurer, because if there's no money, there's no club. And the president has to go hand in hand with the VP education, because you need to make sure that the education goals are taken forward. While this is done, there are other roles which are silent. The VP membership, the VP PR, and the secretary. So what normally would be a good combination is VP membership and VP PR go together hand in hand, because it's the VP PR who actually brings in the external people, and the VP membership is somebody who enrolls them into Toastmasters and inducts them and all those things. The treasurer, the secretary, and the president should be the second combination. And the third combination is the VP education, the president, and the sergeant at arms, to make sure everything is done beautifully. Now, if you ask me which are the positions you need to take, you need to first decide which of these groups you want to belong to. There is no harm, even if you go and stand for the role of the president. If you wish, you can perform to the best of your abilities. So there is no rule that you should go step by step. There is a rule that you need to select the best which suits what you want to learn. So today, if you're somebody who is very, very creative, you've already done a lot of creative things in your life, bring it to Toastmasters, show it to people and become a VPPR and train the next person to become like you. So you're creating a legacy over there. And eventually 5-10 years down the line, when you're looking at your club, you'll start feeling very proud that you're the one who started it. So I hope that answers your question.
Really did.
Thank
Really
you.
did. Thank you so much.
DTM Balaji, I think the question in the chat box, you want me to read it or you'll read it yourself?
How can we benefit from this Toastmaster in our professional life? Can you tell, giving example? And if you want to take its full benefit, or what one need to do, or steps to be taken? Shilpa, are you a member? You can type that.
She's a prospective member. I've been with her for the past 1 year now as a
Okay.
guest, and she keeps
All right.
coming certain meetings depending on the time.
Okay, so let me start off by saying I'm not very greedy, but I think the first step you need to take is sign up as a member, because it's just like swimming. If you stand outside the pool and keep asking what will swimming do to me, you will not understand. You'll have to get into the pool and then realize that swimming is an art, and swimming is something which brings happiness, fitness, and everything else for your body and your mind. So in the same way, first and foremost, sign up as a Toastmaster. And how can it help you professionally? You need to be steadfast in your learning. There's always a saying in Toastmasters, first learn and then teach. If you don't learn what you're supposed to learn, you cannot teach others, you cannot mentor others. And I have this famous 3-word thing in my life, which is again KGS, know the way. First is know the way, which means you need to have gone the path. If you want to teach somebody else to become a distinguished Toastmaster, you need to have gone that path of becoming a distinguished Toastmaster. The second part is show the way. There are lots and lots of people who actually learn, who do things, but they are for themselves. They don't show the way. They know the way, they go the way, but they don't show the way. And in case they don't show the way, how will you create a legacy? How will you create something more of yourself? How will you ensure that you're the satisfied person, that there are so many people in this world who have learned from you? What happens professionally then? In a matter of 6 months, you'll realize that you have polished your skills. If you're one of the very good speakers, the best in English language, you will have a line of people who want to be mentored from you. If you're somebody who wants to learn English language, you have a line of people who are ready to teach you that English language to the best of your skills. And if you start writing your project speeches, if you start penning it down on a laptop nowadays, I can tell you that it will increase your professional skills in writing. What is that which I have learned from Toastmasters? I have learned a lot, as everybody knows. The most important part which I have learned is people management skills. If you ask anybody today, they will say, Balaji, oh, no problem. He can go and speak to anyone. Yes, I can. For the simple reason is I understand the culture, I understand the people, and I try to speak to them in the way they can understand what I'm speaking. Remember, when you speak to people, communication is not what you want to communicate. Communication is what you want the other person to understand. And the moment you start believing in this phrase, your career will go on its own to a very, very high level. And one day you'll start realizing, oh, this is where it all started. So it can do wonders for you. It has done wonders for me. The job which I'm having today, from the year 2016 till now, is because I started a Toastmasters club in this very same company in the year 2011. And I started mentoring them. And the CEO was watching me mentoring them. And eventually, after 5 years, he said, can you come over here and join us? So Toastmasters has given me a job. It's given me a life. So it can give you too. Any more questions? Yes, Mr. Dinesh.
Just, I think more of an observation and question, but I like your thoughts around the same. I mean, I've been a part of a lot of these social groups that we've led and everything else. And I believe that although XCOM has, you said, like 7 members and plus one past president, I feel sometimes the objectives of the club are best achieved when those goals are shared with other members who may not be in the XCOM. So when it comes to increasing membership or being able to educate, every person brings their own skill sets to the table and one gets to know them. So I've always been the advocate to get more people engaged, although you're an XCOM team, to create smaller teams so that the goals are shared and achieved, because everybody's got their own commitments as well. Plus, the more the people, the better the chance of at least getting the result. So I just wanted to get your views on what those are, because that would be something that I think would be resourceful, and if it's possible, I'm not too sure.
Thank you. That's a wonderful question, actually. In fact, once we become leaders of a club or even area, division, district, we start believing that we are the lords of the universe. Unfortunately, it is not. We are here to serve people. The executive committee here is to serve the members of the club to the best of their capabilities. And this is something which a lot of clubs in Saudi Arabia follow even today. In District 79 follow even today. Unfortunately, District 105, not many clubs are doing it. In the agenda, there's always a business session. So if you have your meeting starting at 6:30, your sergeant at arms will come and open the meeting. After the sergeant at arms open the meeting, it straight away goes to the secretary of the club. And the secretary of the club runs the business session. What is the business session for you? It's hardly 10 minutes. And since the secretary runs it and the president is the overall authority, things from the ExCom are shared with the people in the meeting. Things of previous meeting minutes are read during the meeting. The fund's position are actually discussed in that meeting. And if 10 minutes is not sufficient, what they do, they start using parliamentary language. They ask people to vote if in case they can allot another 5 minutes in this meeting so that we can take it further. And if the vote is negative, then they cannot. They have to stop at 10 minutes. And even in the agenda, if you go to some of the clubs in Saudi Arabia and see, in case like today, your past time, it is actually the members who vote whether you wish to continue and you want to go past the end period. If your agenda says that you have to close at 8 o'clock, if you have to move to 8:05, at least 15 minutes before, the Toastmaster of the evening has to put on the floor a vote to the people saying, we are having just 15 minutes to go. Can you please vote if we can take another 10 minutes extra because we are running behind time? This is the parliamentary way of running your meeting. So the business session, if in case you find 10 minutes is too less, then in every business meeting, have a business session, 10 minutes. And in every business session, have one ExCom member come up and share their thoughts to the entire club. It's actually a part of a club meeting, by the way. And it's actually missing in the entire, at least I know in the UAE and Oman, we don't take up this part. We should. The real agenda is actually having a business session and a normal session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, DTM Balaji. I think we will run out of time now if we don't stop. And
Thank you.
I'll just hand over to President to give you a vote of thanks. Amita?
Thank you so much, DTM Balaji. Indeed, a very insightful session. Even though we are all aware of these ExCom roles by title, the in-depth knowledge and the things which you have told about each role by sharing your anecdotes is surely going to prep the members, though, because they are all new to Toastmasters. Thank you very much, DTM Balaji. A little token of small certificate of appreciation from the Showstoppers Toastmasters to you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. I hope it was beneficial to everybody. Anita has my phone number and email address. Any questions, you can still route to me. At this moment, I need to exit because it's past 8:30 almost. Yeah. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And Raj, see you soon in one of our next meetings. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, DTM Balaji.
Thank you, sir.
Good night. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, that was definitely a capacitic insight into ExCom roles and its power. Now we quickly move on, but not before I mention that we will not be having the grammarian and the R counter report read now. Only the evaluation segment will be held, And even the general evaluation, Tina, I think we need to refrain from doing it. Please send in your audio messages of the report, not and also the text, perhaps if you can, but audio messages of the report will do for us. Yeah. So we move on to GE Tina to take over to conduct the evaluations segment, and then we can call it a day.
Thank you so much, Teamodia Anita. Our first speaker was Toastmaster Sridevi, and she was evaluated by Toastmaster Raj. I'm not taking too much time. I will hand it over to Toastmaster Raj for your evaluation. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Am I audible? Was the very first question that my speaker asked, and it was a question that she actually turned it into a speech. So that was her start of the speech. I like that part. Like how does somebody ask? This is something that I've seen for the first time. Anyways, so good evening, everyone. As today's theme is all about soil, so I'm going to talk about what is the content of it. So soil is all about having good content, right? We are all about to save soil over here, and we are talking about a speech. So let me talk about what is the good content of a speech. The speech was clear. The speech had meticulous structure with appropriate transitions, stories, voice modulations, various characters, and there were questions asked at very different parts of the speech. If you look at a speech overall, this is an ideal speech that could teach you the exact structure of how a speech should be made. That is something that she has done brilliantly. However, we are here to all about increasing the content of what we have over here. And like we are all about to increase the content of the soil, so how can we improve the content of this speech, of this project? So the project objective was all about various type of communication skills that she has, and she has to portray it. I would suggest a different approach to what she had taken. The approach that she had taken in the speech was something like this, that there are different kind of speeches, the types of communication, and I am this type of communicator, I am that type of communicator with a personal story. What I would suggest is that, see, as we are humans, depending on different situations, we use different kind of communication. So what does this mean is that we are strategists. We strategize our communication. So the entire approach of your speech need not be all about, somebody is, this kind of a communicator, that kind of a communicator. You could have just gone that in various different kind of situations of my life, I was this kind of a communicator. So it's the strategy. And one other thing that I would ask you to improve, or rather put in your speech to improve the content, is use the pace. Slow down where it's required. Increase it. Pause. So these are the kind of things that would make your speech way much more interesting than what it is already. And already, as I said, it was a capacity speech. It had nearly all the ingredient of a very good project speech. What would require is that you change the approach and use pace. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raj. Our next speaker was Toastmaster David. He was evaluated by Toastmaster Amita. Toastmaster Amita, do we need to have another timer? Amita?
No, timer is being done by
Roshni is doing. Okay, fine.
Okay. So good evening once again to one and all. Congratulations, Toastmaster David, for successfully sowing the seed of your L5 first project titled We Connect. You seemed to have worked hard toiling the soil and providing the right nutrients for a well-drafted speech. The content of your speech was like a rich soil enriched with macronutrients and a bit of micronutrients as well in the form of, first of all, vocal variety. It was nice to hear the variation in your voice, showing your enthusiasm, and when you were doubtful, asking questions like, what did I learn? Did I explain it to them? And your gestures and expressions. You had the hand gestures enhancing your speech and your facial expressions. I really liked I liked the ending of your speech, which you quoted. The CEO of Baby Shop says, "Earth is your own, so be good." I like the ending of your speech. And so these were like the right amount of macronutrients of phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium in the soil. The content of your speech was copacetic by taking me through your journey of how you were in your first year, second year, and you came up to your third year during the pandemic, as the pandemic was going along, and how you were picked up by your professor for the project of We Connect. It was capacitic to see how you were able to reiterate the topic We Connect throughout your speech. However, as a plant requires all the macronutrients and micronutrients in proper quantity to be healthy, I would suggest you could actually speak more about 2 specific anecdotes about your when you were into the role as a leader. Any two specific anecdotes to show some challenges which you faced and how you overcame those challenges would be more interesting. Also, I understand you go by instincts while choosing your team, but here also some specific anecdote that what made you feel that this person is right for your team would be more interesting. I understand you have a nice flair for English language, so you tend to speak fast. However, but when we are giving a speech, a little more pauses, a bit of pace, a slow pace would definitely make wonders and make it more impactful. So to summarize, you were able to sow the seed for the level 5 project with proper macronutrients in the form of gestures, vocal variety, and energy. However, you could put in a little more effort to do justice to the purpose of the project you are delivering. So, okay, so it is a high level project, so you need to have proper content and in-depth content. And yes, by incorporating a bit of slow pace also will work wonders. So nevertheless, it was capacitic to hear you out. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amita. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Dinesh, who was evaluated by Toastmaster Seema. Over to you, Toastmaster Seema.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tina. Good evening to everyone once again. The mind is a fertile garden. It will grow anything that you wish to grow, beautiful flowers or weeds. And that's exactly what Toastmaster Dinesh conveyed to all of us in his speech this evening. Toastmaster Dinesh, a well-articulated speech with the right amount of water, good soil, sunlight, and required fertilizers, which definitely clearly defined the purpose of your speech. This being your second speech, I must say you excelled in engaging the audience with exemplary content, and the way you connected the theme along with your topic, the mind and thoughts, was excellent. It was mind-blowing, and I completely got bowled out the way you brought it out. The best part, as I again said, is the way you connected the theme with your speech, and I have not in the past, I have never listened to any kind of a speech which has been totally connected to the theme of the day. I have always observed that you have a very natural talent in putting words together, which immediately grabs the attention of the audience and also engages each one of us to your speech. And throughout the speech, you maintain the eye contact, physical gestures, everything. But yes, I have to say, today I really missed that smile and enthusiasm in your speech. And I also could see a little bit of wavering towards the end. But I do understand that you managed to script your speech only in the end, probably in a very short period of time. And I have to say, you are a true Toastmaster who managed to nail that. With regards to recommendation, as you yourself clearly mentioned, I would have really loved had you given a personal example, a live example that, probably that you have experienced in your life that would have taken your speech to a higher level. In short, excellent speech, well scripted, well drafted, delivered exemplary. And I always love listening to your speech copacetically. Do consider the recommendations for your future speech. All the best to you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Seema. Thank you all the Toastmasters for your copacetic evaluations. With that, I will hand it over to Amita, the president, or to you, Timothy.
Yeah, to me, we need to ask for the timer's report, and then you can hand it to me.
Yeah. Okay, then Toastmaster Roshni, can we have the timer's report of our evaluators, please?
Okay. Toastmaster Raj, 3 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Amita, 3 minutes 43 seconds. Toastmaster Seema, 2 minutes 20 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Roshni. Over to you, T. Modi.
Thank you so much, Tina. Now we come to almost to the end of the meeting, and well, I put the link for you all to register as an Earth Buddy. Whatever you can do, sitting in your offices, on your desk, to spread the word in the social media, please do so. And now I hand it over back. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to spread more about the campaign. And now I hand it over to Toastmaster Amita, but not before thanking each of my role players, and also the grammarian, our counter, general evaluator. Request you all once again, please put in your audio reports on the group, role players group, as well as the other group. Thank you so much. Over to you, President Toastmaster Amita.
Thank you very much, TM Modi, Anita. It was indeed a very good session. We have learned a lot, and it is an awareness which needs to be given attention to for the sake of the future generations. So with this, I think we can have the poll results. I would, okay, are the poll results ready? In the meanwhile, can I call upon our guest, Darren, to speak a few words? He's been with us throughout this meeting. Darren?
Yeah, hi, Amita.
Hi.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I've been here as a guest, and this is one of my first Toastmaster meetings. I had been there in gavel clubs before. I had not actively participated in them. Instead, it was my siblings who were doing so. But I think I had a wonderful evening today listening to all of you speak and also conduct the club. And I could confidently say that I now understood how a Toastmasters club would usually conduct themselves and go forward. And at this point, you have honestly convinced me to be like, okay, maybe I should really join it.
You're always welcome. The Showstoppers welcomes each and everyone.
All right.
Yeah, you can leave your contact number either in the chat box, or there will be a RSVP on the flyer. So you can contact us and get in touch with you.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I wish all of you a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much. Toastmaster Raj, we would like to hear a few words from you as well, as you are visiting us for the first time.
Yeah, actually, I had previously put in my schedule to go in one of your meetings. I think it was on the 1st of April or something.
I see.
1st or 2nd April. Anyway, so that time it didn't happen. So it just happened when I saw Toastmaster Anita's flyer, and then that's when I got attracted. I have to be in this part in this meeting. So it was an amazing meeting. It went well, and of course, DT and Balaji is here. It was nice, and of course, to what Toastmaster of the team brought was something very close to my heart. So thank you. It was a nice opportunity to speak also, and it was an amazing meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Our guest, Shilpa, we would like to hear a few words from you as well. Hello, Shilpa. Okay, I don't think she's around. Anyway, I would also like to congratulate.
That she's unable to unmute.
Okay, I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, you can type in, I think, Shilpa.
Okay, you can type in and I will read it out. In the meanwhile, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Toastmaster Kazi for displaying his maiden role as a word master of the day, and indeed a real good word. I think it was used by almost all of us, and repeatedly it was used. So very copacetic, very nice.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so are the poll results ready? Okay. Wow, the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Dinesh. Congratulations. Best evaluator, Toastmaster Amita. And okay, we didn't have the table topics. Never mind. Toastmaster Deepansh was all set as a table topic master. Sorry about this, Deepansh, because we had to call it off because of the time. And but you can be the table topic master in our next meeting. So I need not hunt for a table topic master next time. Okay. So it was a very good evening or time well spent. And I don't see that Shilpa has written anything in the chat box, but I'm sure she must have enjoyed being with us. I would like to thank Anita for giving me this golden opportunity to join. She has written, "You are welcome to join us, Shilpa. We'll welcome you with open arms." So can I call this meeting number 59 close now? And thanks a lot, each one of you. See you all next time. So don't forget, our next meeting is going to be a hybrid meeting. So the people overseas, you have to join us, be with us then. And of course, we all will be here together. On 23rd, the venue will be sent on the WhatsApp as soon as we decide. Thanks a lot. Good night, all of you.